beautiful city of Chongqing, of course, where LNG have their home, but far away, Top Esports have come from and shut them down here in game number 1. I'm Mysterix. This is Raz, and that was, as again Spawn would put it, we use this once a week, a shellacking.
Just got slapped.
Yeah.
They got slapped multiple times by a specific Zoe player. In fact, let's get it right to it. We said it multiple times that it was going to be an MVP coming in for.
Sure.
Like, there is no surprise. 42% damage coming in from him. He slaughtered the Azir.
I mean, that was just a destruction game from Knight from minute 1 throughout the laning phase. And people wonder why we don't see as much Azir. Well, through the lane, it could absolutely be destroyed.
I love the fact that it starts with Kennen's mistakes, but this is how it ends. Straight through the minion wave, being able to find the pick on towards the Kennen on the way out. And so, great job from him throughout the game. Got to love to be able to see him be able to find the pick. And that one was a great moment. I actually really love the fact that SofM looked for it, because we talked about it. You know, he wanted to find the pick onto the champion.
Yep.
Not only went right back because of his ult blink, then he flashes away, uses his real flash, ends up picking up the fake flash. Yeah, Zoe's a pretty damn snowbally when she has those abilities, or at least those summoners.
Definitely is. So for Top Esports, what a motivation going into the second game, where Knight Zoe, if it's left open, I would be surprised. And a lot of times we talk about drafts, and like, that's not always about draft execution. But I think when you go up against something like that, you just go, all right, reset, ban that away straight away.
That's tough, because I agree with the concept, right? Teams have gone, especially when they're on blue side, they just say, okay, at least we have the freedom to ban away certain, priority picks.
Right.
And they recognize that, the Zoe's one thing that you want to take away from him. But these are the lessons that were taken away from a lot of teams when they were going up against Top Esports in the last split. And they realized, oh, yeah, Jace is tough to deal with. I mean, the Zoe's tough to deal with, but there's this Jace that's also waiting for you.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem that you have when you go up against TLP, is that they actually just have so many picks that accomplish the same thing.
Yes. Knight on the Jace, as you mentioned there before, was always just a counter action too. So right now for LNG, you need to pull something out of the basket, because what we said in that game, the process of I guess how they played it out wasn't to the style that they could really beat top it.
And I think a lesson that, look at the pick ban alone, right?
Right.
Corki had shove in top lane, and even though there was a traded kill, he's going to come straight back and essentially accomplish the same thing, right? Same thing happened through mid lane, and Zoe's always going to be able to have a leg up on the matchup, because once he finally gets the ability to be able to clear out back lane wave, then she has the shove, then she has the threat of, Sleepy Trouble Bubble landing because you're underneath turret. And you could tell in this game didn't even require that, because it was so easy to land the Qs. And so that's when you take a look at both of those solo lanes going heavily in favor of Top Esports and say, we need to change that in some way. We recognize that Corki is not going to just be the mid laner. So pick a better one for top lane. I don't think Kennen works any longer if a team's threatening the Corki up top.
Like I said, Flandre's got a wide pool. He can do what he wants there. So if we see a change up, think Aatrox, think we also talked about Renekton in the past, but more so the fact that this top player was a great Akali. Pyke was there, which you can't really do anymore. Camille also, if we've seen in the LPL. So
but
a lot
remember,
to bounce off.
All of those picks don't necessarily have shove in lane, will be put underneath tower, and is now onus on them to be able to play make immediately afterwards. And so that's why I don't necessarily like the Camille as of late. Camille teams need to be good enough to be able to rescue that lane so she doesn't find herself in too large of a deficit, and then utilize that and snowball off respectively. And we haven't been seeing that from LNG when they go up against far better teams. And so in this case, I wonder how better Top Esports really are.
Yeah.
I want to see in game 2 if LNG can say, hey, you know what, it was just how the matchups ended up going. It was a drafting difference that they could say. And setting up for SofM a little easier, who I felt like still had a good game, is probably the go-to idea. Because even with the ingenious counterpick that they had, not counterpick, but their pick into the Lucian and Yuumi wasn't even that good.
Yeah.
Lucian and Yuumi comfortably, slowly is able to deal with the Kalista. And so, realistically, you saw a game where Top Esports had 3 winning lane matchups.
And in the end, I want to come back to why I actually like best of 3s, because the fact that we do get to see LNG reset, we do get to see whether LNG can put up a fight, or if Top Esports are that kind of team.
Yeah, we had multiple games where, or at least multiple days, where a team started poorly on the first game, adapted through the draft, played a lot better, and was able to rescue and take the third game. Yeah. So this could be the exact same situation. But the fashion in which TOP blew LNG away is scary.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it shows just how strong they are with a game lead. So I want to be able to see if, honestly, if LNG can actually be able to pick up the early game ahead of
It's
Top
the
Esports.
expectation for Top Esports is we know they play a great early game, but in terms of standings and the feeling of this team, we expect them to be a top 4 team, a team that are semi-finalists that represented us at Rift Rivals. They're still at that point. It's LNG who have to play up and show us that this is not the trend, the curse of what Snake Esports are, that with the rebrand comes a new chance for LNG too.
Yeah, I mean, let's just hope that they do get a lot better. I remember when they first came into the league, there was a meme about being the 4th best team. They are far, far away from that.
Yeah.
And so I want to see them be able to rebuild themselves, especially with, as you mentioned, that LNG brand. They say anything is possible. Let's see if that's the case going into game 2.
Begins now. That's going to be an Aurelia band starting off here for LNG on the red side. Blue side this time for Top Esports. And the Olaf they ban away straight wholeheartedly.
All right, let's see what LNG can do here. Remember, they're going to have to leave as much open for the support picks. So Tom, Kench, Lux, Yuumi, all available.
Big reminder to everyone out there as well that Mordekaiser is banned globally, so of course includes the LPL. Still in 9-13, meaning we'll see a lot of things like the Karma still put in first priority. The Jace is there too. Top Esports now have the pick of the litter.
You mentioned the Jace. Made a point that it's great in the hands of Knight.
Yep.
Also for 369 as well, so just taking away that blind option for Top Esports. One of the great strategies for red side, especially with how flexible both mid and top lane have been, is to try and take away those great flex pick options. So when you are on your last pick, when you're on your 5th pick, you actually know where TOP is going to be heading with their both solo lanes.
Especially since last game when you see a Corky top, you kind of throw things out the window as well. So that's a Sylas first picked up here by XX. Still fits in the style. I look at him like I look at TN in a sense with similar champion pools.
I have this discussion a lot about the ability of Lux and Caitlyn versus Sivir and Yuumi.
Okay.
And I favor the Sivir Yuumi far more than I do the Lux and Caitlyn. I think that Lux Caitlyn, sure, double binding at the trap and you get full control of the lane just based off that. But Yuumi has the range over the Caitlyn.
Yep.
And then Sivir has the wave clear. After first base, she's able to like shove the Caitlyn in and take full control and is able to combo really well off the slow that Yuumi is able to ride with her Q. So we won't be seeing the Sivir and Yuumi, but we will still be seeing the Lucian Yuumi coming in from top.
Seems like similar bot lanes all around, but for LNG, SofM wants to try this again. Now, we complimented his Lee Sin in the past. Game 1 wasn't the performance that lives up to that hype. This is going to be a recovery game for LNG, what seems to be a similar start to the comps.
I mean, I thought he played well. The only thing that he did was even more remotely questionable was like the flash Q into the pit for the Dragon. But there was still a great mentality around that. I think the person who played poorly that game was certainly Flandre for his Kennen.
I mean, he wants to try again. This for LNG to pick the same style of composition.
At least this time they have a chance to ban the Corki in second phase.
Yeah.
Right there,
it goes.
easily.
Okay.
They didn't want to deal with it. They still love the Kennen, but they knew that that was going to be a tough lane to put it in.
I mean, do you have the same type of thought? Do you go, all right, let's ban the Zoe next. Let's look at a mid lane here against Top Esports. Or do you just leave it open and hope for the best?
Now, Azir is still available. The
Yep.
Nico is still available. I'm actually incredibly comfortable here if I'm Plex that all of my picks are still there. I would like for him to leave his pick until last pick. So if you're picking top that early on, pick your AD here for Asura. I would like the, I mean, I guess it depends on, oh, actually, Yasuo
ban. I mean, his Ezreal's still open if you're looking at ADs. But,
yeah.
Will that be the direction here for LNG?
I still want to see, I think Sivir, I keep talking about the champion, but I think she works here, especially if you want to pick something like an Assassin Dare for Plex. Makes it so you still have some wave clear options. You're right. You've got an Ezreal player here in Asura, and he's been able to reliably play well in the champion in the past.
Well, we're not going to find out yet, though. Leaving AD carry for last pick. That's interesting here from LNG. Again, Lucian can be flexed tonight, so we don't know where that's going, but one of the best mid laner in China on something like this.
Please, we need it.
Yes.
We need the champion. Jace and... Oh, please. Jace and the Zoe both got banned. I just want to see what Knight ends up picking for himself. We have to see it now anyways, so this is when we get to see the full composition for TOP.
Okay, most likely 369's Vladimir. Yes, I still love that. He's a great Vladimir player alongside the likes of Flandre, so That puts the top lane matchup into fruition. Now we find out.
Let's see what we got here. They have the full 20 seconds that they can wind down. Think about this a little bit more. Even have a deeper discussion about what the composition really aspires to do. It makes it easier to swap around picks. Locks it in. It's going to be Knights Qiyana.
Oh, this man going into Plex again. Remember, that counts as terrain, so that's going to be an interesting ultimate. Interesting interaction. We haven't seen this just yet.
Let's see if LNG just runs it right back. Right? I mean, they already have the same 4 picks here. It's going to be tough to be able to see LNG essentially play through. We know it's going to be an Ezreal. Not much you can actually do here. And, you know, Asura is always going to go back to his trust tree, as has not been doing too well here. 38% win rate with 29 games played in the LPL. And to be honest, a lot of it comes down to lane power. You need outright lane strength. And a lot of the times, I mean, Ezreal does not provide you that past the first base.
A lot of poke there in the bottom lane, but from LNG, let's rinse and repeat partially and see if we can recover, because top esports have changed up their composition. Apart from the bottom side of the map, this is new top lane, mid, jungle, going into LNG, and this is going to be difficult. This is going to be the uphill battle we talked about just before.
Yeah, and I just didn't like the Kalista pick last time around. Therefore, Asura, I'm still not a fan of the Ezreal pick here, just because you have to prioritize the early game if you're going up against TOP. Top Esports has a great dual lane on the bot side of the map. Qiyana will still get pushed in, so if you're LNG, you're going to be a lot more confident with how your mid and top lane is going to be going for you. I think Vladimir at like level 8, level 9 will be able to start out-trading the Kennen and pushing him back. So the wave is going to start having like a back and forth presence on the top side of the map. I like LNG's comp better compared to game 1. But, I mean, look. You look back at that composition that Top Esports has. You see Knight, the best mid laner right now in the LPL. Have himself Qiyana. And he's going to get rolling.
I mean, the outlook here for LNG was, okay, at least we don't have to go into the Zoe. And the reason why game 1 suffered so much was because Knight in the mid lane took over. Plex didn't get to play.
Took control of the ship.
Yes. And so, for Knight this time, I mean, if it happens, it's going to happen maybe just as fast. That's an Ignite into the mid lane against Plex. So we'll see. Knight playing his Qiyana. First time here in the LPL. We'll see how it goes as they run into LNG with a 1-0 advantage. The power out of that call from Leaning sounds like Lagatha from Vikings. Strong, intimidating. Hopefully it seeps through to the players here in game 2, because they'll need it. There's Top Esports on blue side here in game number 2. For deep vision.
So Flandre has gone back to the press the attack.
He has. Rinse and repeat.
Pretty surprised about that going up against the Vladimir. Thought he would just go straight towards the Klepto AP. But looking at the composition, maybe he wanted to allow, let's say, the Ezreal go towards the AP build. It's a possibility. Pretty AP heavy if you have the Lux and Azir as well, but I still think that's just a better way to go here. But going to be trying to outsplit push and take control of the lane versus 369.
I've also noticed Plex is going for Comet. Second game in a row here. A different matchup normally we see with Assassins or aggressive early games. The Azirs will go into the Electrocute to match, but Plex being a big component of taking the Comet.
A lot of times you go, I mean, Electrocute if you're in matchups that can skirmish pretty well against you. Going up against the Qiyana that actually just loses a lot of shove and just takes a lot, you know, at her turret, then the poke from Comet I do enjoy. I think it works out very well. So big fan of what Plex has to offer. The only issue is that once she gets that base, once she ends up getting her lethality items, Tiamat there so she can start contesting the wave and, you know, at least starting to roam alongside her jungler and threatening your head, that's when it gets tough for the Azir.
I mean, we get to a Talon situation where the mobility boots, lethality items, and that mid lane is constantly roaming, so the Knight set up in a position if he can do.
So that's why vision around mid lane is going to be super important. if you start to lose vision, if you're Plex and you can't get the vision on the right side of your map, then suddenly Knight will be leaning in that direction, but will be sitting there just in case you end up trying to match vision, and then you're just going to try and kill you. Like, those are the things you have to be aware of. So Knight's going to be doing just fine here, especially doing well in the CS department, and he's catching up, wave at his tower.
Especially if he's pushed at his turret and he doesn't get pushed out that much.
No.
But Flandre, yeah, look, that's not the start you want to see from the recovery of the top lane of LNG.
Wave's been held too, so this is going to be hard for Flandre. He might need some help from the jungle.
I mean, you're going to get a Crimson Rush up soon. 369 procking the wave. There's the combat interaction you wanted to see. And Knight actually getting punished very well. So Plex is recovered with a bit of pots. And top lane interaction with SofM and XX. Going for the 1v1. Conqueror jungle versus Conquerors. Knight is slow to the party. Plex jumps in first to flash away. Sonic Wave resonating. Striking SofM. Gets locked down with the Ignite. Gets the trade kill. Flandre wants to join the party, but Knight gets what he wants and runs away.
Yeah, but first blood kill there by SofM. Being able to get it for himself, gotta love it. Because at that stage, you were wondering how the 1v1 would be able to work in his favor, and if Knight would be there in time to help out XX. Wasn't the case. X still ended up flashing anyways.
Oh, please make it stop.
The reason why the junglers went up topside was to be able to interact with his top lane.
Yeah.
XX wanted to get the gank there and put Flandre even further to behind. SofM wanted to help hand, wanted to give a helping hand.
I mean, they're heading back up there now.
Yes, this is a very risky replay. This is one of those replays where we're probably going to come out super early. Just to make sure, though. Okay, we're going to have the double camp.
Yeah, you're right, Raz. We're going for the fight again. Forget the replay. It's over as looking at the mini box. Flandre jumps on in. Sonic Wave resonating striker. XX dies. Don't know why we're still watching
screen
it.
it, please.
Forget it. Top esports a flash. Flandre's jumping in. There's a blood vampire on top of him. What did he get? A double kill. Now we have to replay this.
Bush element. He was so close to being able to get the kill onto Knight, but Knight just goes rogue. Hides himself up, and you're right, double kill there now for 369. Well, it was already a bad situation in Flandre's position. Gets worse.
I mean, this time they traded up. It was 2 kills over to the Vladimir. I know we'll see it in a quick second, but Qiyana picked up one. The solo laner picks up one. This is not good for LNG.
Scuttle Crab battles. This is why the nerf on Scuttle Crab, thankfully this time around, they still go back to it since it's healthy. All in for the fight. Oh, XX put himself in a pretty tough position. But if you're talking about the whole grand scheme of things, Knight gets a great execute. 369 is unperturbed. He's the one that's not really getting hit up at all. And Flandre put himself in a position where, Plex can't help you, buddy.
Yeah, great edge of Excel from Knight. Of course, when you use Brush Element in a brush itself, you're going to take that invisibility. So stealthed up is Knight. Excuse me, almost level 6. Has a kill. Able to pick up assist off the back of that. Has a serrated Dirk as well.
Yeah,
right?
this team needs to calm down. We're at 5 minutes in and we have 5 kills.
And again, we begin. So for the top lane now, Flandre was already getting bullied out. Here's my problem again with the AD Kennen, is that he's going into a matchup that this time is even worse than the last.
Yeah, certainly just piling in on him. At least from the last matchup, my thing was, you had the jungle matchup coming in, and it was really the jungler that was kind of putting a pain on you. This time around, the Vladimir not only got a great trade on him super early on with Crimson Rush, but then had a pretty good freeze on the wave as well. And so he's like, all right, well, now I need Lee Sin. And he makes 2 trips over and even though he got the kill, put Flandre in an even worse position than he did when he got into the lane.
Because he was able to push out, because the Lee Sin couldn't make it topside. Vision was secured in topside river, so a lot of safety here for 369, and he's gotten to that point where now level 6 has the Hema Plague, becomes harder to dive, whether that was realistic anyway.
This is just nightmare mode, right? Because usually the whole context of a Vladimir in top lane is that he's suffering a lot. He goes through like the dirty 30s. Yeah. But then he ends up coming out pretty damn fine, and he just starts slapping the enemy team.
I mean, we can use the Shy as an example, but not just yet. Knight jumping back in, going to take himself another Edge of X style. Pops out the ult. The supreme display of non-talent there from Knight.
Hey.
Ultimate will go down, and he gets pushed out.
You calm down.
I mean, that wasn't a good ult.
It wasn't, but you still calm down.
Okay.
You relax.
See the next one. He's 15 CS down, Raz. Like, what am I meant to do here? Lie to the audience?
Yes.
What am I? Knight goes in again. Plex getting traded off on. Still ahead in CS, as I mentioned there before. And I'll lie to you guys better next time. I just hate that you can take River from there. I mean, come on. Make him smaller.
Take all 3 elements. That would be a pretty good nerf, but I don't
6.
feel like he's necessarily needs a nerf. He's in a pretty good spot. Take a look at this. Time for SofM to get in some action.
It's dive time. There's no supreme display of talent as the ultimate comes down the bottom lane. We just swap lanes, Raz. And we got more blood. Asura underneath the turret gets poked out. Supreme display of an awesome Q there from Banners. This is Knight again. Please run.
There's going to be some good help. You're going to be able to take Dragon and come in and aid him, so good respect there from the Lee Sin.
Having the touch of the Dragons here. Top Esports get another good run. One Infernal, next will be Cloud.
So at the end of the day, what I'm seeing here, this is from LNG's perspective. I like the fact that they're putting a lot of, extra protection up top side.
Yep.
Kennen's going to be fine now that, Lee Sin's always been pathing up here for a bit. Plex has been putting in some pressure into the mid lane. You're right about the CS difference. Knight's having quite a bit of pain. Really close being able to get that one fight on top of Plex. You're right, if he had hit his ultimate while XX was in the area, it would have been great for them, but really just trying to look for that one opportunity. Even if it's not going to be on Plex, he finds, he's going to try though.
Great audacity there from Knight to get the edge of Ixtal, but he's not going to get the stun down. XX moving to the mid lane, but you're mentioning SofM to the top side. He's back, ready to get up from mid.
But I need to see, if he gets control of the wave, then he can drop his control ward in the right side of the bush and essentially start threatening the bot lane, right? That's the purpose that you start to really see for the boots of mobility. That he wants to be able to get out of the lane whenever he can. Still has a kill to his name, so should be able to even up the gold.
He's just trying to stop the back from the mid laner as well from Plex now. Plex has the TP too, so he can match that just as easily. But for the Azir, I'm keeping track of the items, because hasn't got the first item just yet, and that for Plex will be a big turning point, or at least a big moment.
Good control ward here is going to be high in XX, so he can be in the area. Wave is still going to be pushing against Asura and Duan. This is what I was concerned about when it came into this lane matchup, was just that LokeN and Ben had so much control over it. The big surprise, though, is the fact that they haven't been able to get a turret plating here, the bot side of the map. Yeah. They did get the Infernal Dragon because of the bot lane pressure, but hasn't amounted to much past that point.
I mean, we're just trying to fight again in the mid
Going
lane.
for it.
Wow, great lockdown. Supreme display of talent. Knight executed that flawlessly.
Wow.
And XX flash absconded him. Duck, I thought we were going to stop there, but never mind. Kick him! Burn him! Bleed him! 369 takes his 3rd kill.
That all happened so quickly. Knight was like, I got my jungler, but I don't even need him. That ultimate damage was huge. And then Lee Sin was just sitting there, of course, awkward, just being in the position for a counter gank that wasn't even necessary. And then finds himself getting roamed on by 369.
It's like LNG get complacent in their lanes, are happy to play it out, and then
this is a lot of damage.
Yeah.
That's humongous. Shouldn't even be possible. Just 1v1s and gets the kill.
Remember the Azir, I don't think he has any armor in his kit, so Serrated Dirk does the damage, and then this follow-up was still good too.
Yeah, and of course that finishing kick. What do you even do at this point, right?
369 has 3 kills. This is... When the Vladimir is this big, I said the same in the Shy game that we had the other day against FPX. It's scary. 369 now in the middle of a 1v2. He's not that scary yet. He doesn't have his items. He's going to get caught out and killed by SofM. TP here from LokeN, but he brings the cat. Flandre is like, it's 2! LokeN, the cat foot comes out once again, and Ben launches the ultimate onto SofM. XX coming on red hot. Knight with a double stun. Audacity into the edge of Ixtal. Double kill Knight.
2 games in a row where it was looking good for LNG, and then they get teleported on. This is becoming a farcehood right now. Top Esports starting to take control.
Duan over the other side of the wall. Knight jumps in. He doesn't care. Onto Plex. He trades him massively. Change your element, man. That terror shape, perfect.
It's getting ridiculous. The mobility that Qiyana has is allowing her to run roughshod here.
Remember the Qyanas we've seen. I remember Kuros as being the first here in the LPL. I was like, yeah, it was good. Knight is making this champion look absolutely busted.
Because at this point, like, we're just seeing how easy it is to traverse the Azir wall that came through. Remember when he first got Azir sec, that he was able to just go straight over it because he E'd right on top of her head?
Yep.
Knight is moving real quick, and what was beginning to be a tough laning matchup, as it should be, just started to evolve. I mean, ganks coming through from XX has been really paying off.
we're getting to that point where now that lanes have swapped out and the Rift Herald in the back pocket, Top Esports have the chance to speed this game up even more. What lane does XX go to, though? So we've got a minute left of turret plating, and opportunity to give the Vladimir more in this bottom side is there.
This is pure nightmare mode.
Yes.
Like LNG last game, I didn't think they had too much of an option to come back. This game is even worse, actually.
Yeah.
Like Ezreal, at least the Kalista had some skirmishing power underneath her. The Ezreal is going to be in a bit of a trough, and so we're going to be having a lot of faith put on towards Plex to get some damage there alongside SofM.
I know you're saying that because the Vladimir is 3-1. You know, when you have a Vladimir this escalated this early on, Proto Belt, Fiendish Codex, and I mentioned here before, there's more gold coming for it.
I mean, look, it's a combination of things. You're right, the 3-1 Vladimir, the Qiyana has 4 kills and boots mobility, so she's going to be pushing and roaming, or maybe trying to get the solo kill on Plex once again. And then the empowered Lucian, because you have the Yuumi roaming alongside. All lanes are super empowered.
Yeah. And the Lucian and Yuumi have been quiet, but still kept up, still powering in the top side. The 369 has now gotten 500 gold.
All right, help him.
LNG need to do something. SofM, now's your chance.
Sound the horns.
Final chapter, but they turn. They force the flash. Culling comes out. I don't think they can do this. Asura gets flashed on, and LokeN and Ben see SofM and say, what? What are you going to do?
We take those. That was 5 people up in the top side of the map, and they weren't even given an opportunity to take that fight.
Top Esports are looking better than they ever have before. It's week 8. This is a playoff-ready team.
They sent the entire choir up there.
How do you react to this? If you're LNG, how do you play this? I mean, they're breaking the game, Raz.
We just need to run that track once more. They didn't even allow the wave to come up. Solutions like, the Lee Sin that is. It's like, all right, hold the wave. Oh, there is no wave. All right, I'm going to come right back. Oh, you're dead. Even throwing in the exhaust, double summoner, double offensive summoner that the Yuumi is able to provide for you. So, crazy.
I love how Azir is coming up and like, nope. And that's it. The play's over. And once again, Top Esports take control now. Knight has a Yuumi on top. Asura shouldn't be here. That is the most dangerous hula hoop I have ever seen.
All right, let's see. This will never end.
Do you think XX cares? He's going to walk into 3 of them. LokeN's nearby, the Lucian empowered, and yep, there we go again.
0.
Tonight has been the time of turret plating versus none. As SofM jumps in, he wants a kick. He's got flash.
I'll take that fight.
Yeah, final chapter. It's gone to duck, kick back XX, but guess what? The Yuumi jumps off. Again, breaking the game as Ben gets bursted down by Duan. LokeN hitting around. Knight's joining.
No way.
369 with the Vladimir flank. Send him to the wall. It's already over. SofM looks for the escape, but 369 and XX want his blood as well. Over the wall. No, Asura walks into a great flash from XX. He steals the ulti and almost kills the Lee Sin too.
Let's see if they can get this one.
At this point, not even close, Raz.
Not even close.
That flank from 369 makes people want to play Vladimir right now.
That was so well played. And at this stage, you're right. I mean, XX is saying, I'll take any fight that you send at me. He has the Yuumi right on top of his head, so the ultimate engage, final chapter is going to be putting in a lot of work. And at this stage, nearly everybody on the side of Top Esports are going to have the damage themselves. So of course he goes all in on the fight. I love the fact that Ben, as you said, just gets off of the off of XX so he can essentially continue on with the engage. And then you see 2 members come through. The Vladimir on one side, the ultimate, sending him straight towards the Vladimir coming on the other.
Wow.
Knight and 369 were stellar.
Instant execution is now. Knight has to prove it again. Jumps back, kick back into LNG.
Goodbye.
Good shutdown. That's a 7-1 Qiyana now from Knight. But while this is going on, Top Esports are happily going to trade this.
They're always having waves shoved in. So mid lane shoved in. They're going to be able to take in some chip at the mid lane turret. I wonder if they're going to get actually stopped at all. No one's stopping them. The Ezreal's not enough.
No one's making the play. They want an outer turret. They need some gold on the board.
That's an outer turret for a mid lane inner, though.
Yep.
So I'd like to see if we can pan the camera over just to make sure. They don't have much of a wave, so actually they end up keeping this mid lane inner.
Very significant damage done, though. So the Top Esports, they'll take that. And Raz, if it's not one inner, it's the other.
Oh, that's true. They're still going to be able to take bot lane.
Yeah.
How destructive this series has been for LNG. We're just talking about coming into this one with a confidence boost, I felt like they came in with a little bit of a swagger, right? You come into a series, you lock in SofM's Lee Sin, and you feel like you have a higher chance of being able to pick up the series, right? At least to be able to contest it. But SofM has been in pain.
Blind. Yep, definitely blind. Can't see the ward.
In pain. He can't see.
He really can't. 3 and 5. I mean, it's not so much that LNG playing horribly, but top esports are definitely outclassing them. Take that as you will. As that inner eventually drops. The damage significant. 18 minutes again, Raz. 5k gold lead.
I think everybody in the vicinity of Chongqing are tilted.
Yeah.
Right? That's the moment where you're thinking too much, standing on wards multiple times.
Yeah.
You know, just... That's when you look at Doctor's MD and you find out, you know, something must be wrong. What is it?
They have all the answers.
They do.
Oh, there we go. Please don't use that. Well, another turret goes down. Let's have a look.
Why are we looking at it again?
He walks in.
Don't worry, they don't see me. He has his camera panned over to the group.
There's
Where are they, guys?
Missing pings going down.
Where are they?
He's playing the character so well. Let's go to a solo kill. Flandre, you lose this.
He's fine. Don't even worry about it.
He needs to run. He flashed.
He's fine. But yeah, that's one of those moments
Best
where
cosplay I've ever
player
seen.
point of view is actually incredibly important. And really, we all know where his camera was panned to.
That's true. Yeah.
Don't get to see it. He certainly didn't.
But of course, you're right. Look, not to add insult to injury, of course, but fair SofM. Looking what he can do around the map. Yep. XX want to get rid of the ult. That's fine. LNG want to get rid of LokeN in the mid lane.
I mean, he's also just completely fine. If we're just talking about Lucian and Yuumi.
Yeah, same.
Essentially the idea. What I enjoy about the matchup, or at least with the duo lane, we saw it at Rift Rivals. His idea of the matchup is when you have Ardent Sensor for the Yuumi in second build after the Athene's Unholy Grail.
Yep.
You don't even need to worry too much about the attack speed because you get such consistent heals coming in to allow the attack speed to come through. So he goes, you know, all of the AD build. Doesn't have any attack speed to his name. The Essence Reaver, the IE, the Bloodthirster.
Yeah.
He just packs a huge punch. So we haven't seen that in the LPL since seeing Deft essentially run that build then.
I don't think we're going to see it this game either, Raz.
I mean, he's already at Blade of the Rune King, that's why.
Yep. But we're not going to see any further than that is my meeting. As XX and Ben just traveling through the enemy jungle. LNG trying to push out towards this Baron now. It's 20 minutes in, and top esports are ready to fight again.
Qiyana's coming in from a flank.
Flandre's been spotted out. Knight's jumping in, culling down half health. Edge of Ixtal, the edge of the abyss. Knight gets him, the flash away from the ulti, as Knight still has a supreme display of talent, and he's ready to show LNG.
Drops the ignite and walks away. Just like that, huh?
What's going to happen again, Raz?
Yeah.
Look at this.
We don't see anything.
Are you ready?
Not on this rift.
Dracula's
Run
coming
away!
in. He found the victim! The blood again! Sits on top of LNG, and 369 hasn't taken damage. That turret is like hitting him with a wet, soggy noodle from the swimming pool. SofM and Plex running. He's not stopping. The prowling projectile in the auto. That's how this game feels like. An absolute insult to LNG, as even Duan's ult can't take a victim.
XX is just going to let them go. Duan and Plex are free to go on the bot side. They're going to base here. But this game has just been a real one-sided affair for top esports. LNG hasn't had any opportunity. And a lot of it comes down to the fact that, I mean, if we're just talking about early game elements, they got nothing.
Oh no, Flandre's being caught out. Yeah, okay, he walks. They haven't found much. You're right, Raz. Not much at all. Well, guess we're going home early tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, never say never. A wise man once sang that in a song. Right?
You know what? If you call Justin Bieber wise, not sure what's wrong with you, Raz.
Canadian. So, top esports, at this stage in the game, sure, they can end it fairly quickly. A lot of it comes down to the fact that they can end up shoving through mid, try and collapse on top lane inner turret. That's literally that's the play. It's going to be
Yep.
on LNG to just try and do anything to get a pick before that even happens. They just don't want them to group up. If they can get them caught up in the red side jungle, anybody, right? Then excellent.
Right. But then we'll go from there. Look at Knight. He is assassinating his way to the bottom lane. He's like, where is he? Not in there.
Yeah, no one should be bot lane.
He's on the hunt.
Absolutely no one on the side should ban LNG. LNG needs to group up and... Oh.
Okay.
This is great. Hail Mary plays are my game.
Yeah. And it has
Sit
to
in the
be.
damn bush, everybody. Let's go.
You're this far behind at 23 minutes.
Everybody.
3-6-9. I feel like he can take this, though.
Play it patiently. Next bush.
Oh. Does he know?
Get him.
He's locked down. 3-6-9. Hema plagues out. He survives for now. Sonic Wave into the ult. Gonna get the healing back. Dies eventually. But look at this.
Oh,
XX
no.
coming in. Put the turret up. The sun's out, but this is not what you want. LNG underneath the turret.
Take
Looking
the
to find
plunge
the
top.
fight.
Take the punch. Oh, they're not even going to go for the fight? Tisk, tisk. I want that fight.
AD, remember, so we're not going to expect anything but the stun.
They should have took the plunge, you know?
Should have taken the plunge. That was
Should have done it.
That was part of it. I mean, they got the pick off, but that won't stop them from 4v4.
Yeah, they all need the base so they can defend this inhibitor. They'll lose the tower, but please keep the inhibitor.
Well, Raz, I don't think your wish is going to be granted. Top Esports maybe heading back, though.
There we go. They got the inhibitor.
Okay.
That's cool. See? Uh-oh. They're fully
Yeah.
committing.
Ezreal ult taken. XX, there's a lot of AP. Get ready. Yeah, you should have dodged that. Now, when does Knight kill them all? Or is it XX this time? Top
XX is
Esports
pretty low.
highlight reel has been stopped. Look at SofM.
Yeah, they ultimately know how this game is going to come through. If LNG finds that miracle kick, then it's going to be stalled. They recognize that, going to play this one out slower. That's how they roll. I mean,
Yep.
while Top Esports are a very quick team, they also are quick to recognize that they just can easily deny the one win condition LNG has.
The difference between FBX would have gone forward. Top Esports play reserve, play back. They don't have to do anything. But look at LNG heading towards the Baron, getting some vision. I thought they were going to go further than that, but
Yeah, that'd be a suicide mission. They
course.
wouldn't have the damage for it just yet.
just looking for something right now. Double Infernal now for Top Esports.
Thought they can get him.
Edge of talent, edge of supreme display. That's a supreme display of talent.
What's wrong with that? You said it a million times.
Yeah, right. Just counteracting myself.
All right, that's fair.
The supreme edge of talent. Oh yes, that's it.
Nope.
Okay. Well, a minute ago you just said Justin Bieber was cool, so I don't know. I don't trust you anymore.
I said he was wise.
But that's even worse.
No?
Yes, it is. No. Okay. You're one of those people that argue and just don't give a reason. Just like, no, you just shut down everything.
You know me too well.
Yeah. Too long casting. All right. You said King. I'm looking across this board. I still think Flandre gets a good ulti, even with on-hit Kennen, and that sets up the kick. That sets up the Azir. That's optimism for you, but
Oh boy.
if you find it, you find it.
So the hunt is the most important part.
Yeah.
TOP could just burn down Baron, but they recognize LNG is going to take the bait with how little vision that they have. So they're just going to be hunting here for foxes. Let's see if they can find anything in the forest.
And look at the bottom lane here. The setup. Top Esports are caught out with their pants down. XX goes in, but he's golden. He's wasted so much time. Knight gets the ulti off again. Channels his inner ninja. Sends himself downward. It's double kill there.
Okay.
Double Hema plague. This game is over, and LNG have no idea how.
You got to respect the plan that LNG had in action, but you're all going to get slaughtered.
Projectile. Slaughtered the word you used.
At least they were close to getting the kill on XX.
That's a spirit, Raz.
But by the time he went golden, they realized that, yeah, this is going to take too long.
What stomps we've had here today. First FBX against OMG, but Top Esports vs LNG showing the gap here in the LPL. Showing that Top Esports are a team to be feared that deserve to be in that playoff run. They slam down LNG in a quick 2-0.
What a shocking fashion the night ends on. Because the first game of the day, the first series that is, was pretty easy to predict. How well FPX is doing going up against one of the worst teams in the LPL. But this one, LNG is a playoff team.
Yeah.
LNG was once upon a time undefeated coming into this split, like week 5. And then this happens. TOP finally gets the 5-man units in Swift Travel, gets Ben amongst them alongside XX, and they come in real strong.
Oh, through the mid lane. Look at that man, dead center, and even towards the top lane in the end. You're right. The Vladimir, Qiyana, Knight, and 369 are looking great.
Yeah, it's a tag team performance. I mean, I just love to be able to see, Vladimir coming through from 369. The combination, one of the greatest moments we'll be seeing on highlight plays. The ultimate that came through from Knight being throwing the enemies straight towards the flanking Vladimir.
Yeah.
Those are the type of plays you love and you want to see more.
So impressive. And then there's LokeN and Ben in the side, where LokeN in both games just picked himself up a cheeky solo kill and played some fantastic Lucian alongside them.
Yeah, half the problem that LNG has was draft. I think that was a solid half, Maybe more, maybe like about 60% draft. And the rest of it was just outclassed in lanes.
Yep.
I thought that the lane was perfectly fine for Plex. Azir does well in the matchup, but people do still pick the Qiyana into the Azir because of the fact that, they're expecting to get waves shoved into them, losing a bunch of HP underneath turrets. That's something that they are willing to do. So once they get back to base, get the lethality items, the boots of mobility, they're able to start to threaten the lane itself, let alone start roaming outside of it. So he understood the risk that came involved in that one.
Yep.
He just styled out.
Difference between mid laners, it feels like, at the end of the day, where Knight is just, again, the best mid laner in China for good reason.
Yeah, and whenever we talk about like best, that title, right? The question's always, well, what are we talking about?
Mechanics, is it within the team, right?
It's the mechanics that is 100% there for him. He is the strongest mechanical mid laner in the LPL. Rookie is somebody that looks to challenge them. I think he needs more time because he did have quite a bit of time away from the game.
Yeah, and then you put people like Duan in there, you put,
and Duan is if we're just talking about the reason why he was MVP and is seen as, if we're talking about, once again, the idea of best mid laners.
Please.
We saw Duan earlier today, and it was because he was the major shot caller, commands the squad, great team fighter. He brings in everything, and then, of course, you talked about intangibles. Duan is an amazing player. Knight is an amazing guy. Both of these guys were, top 2 in MVP votings, and we got to see both of them play today.
Knight kicked ass. 369 as well. XX comes back. Ben as well. This is the full top esports 5 that we got to see, and I'm glad to see that they're actually back in form. That XX and Ben aren't coming back in weak or less than expected here.
Yeah, because that loss to Suning was always an issue. And the fashion that they lost to Suning was an issue for everybody, right? We wanted to see this team being able to perform at their peak.
Yes.
And I thought, when they got crushed by Suning, that maybe, I hope, first of all, that they weren't going to be continuing to shore the lineup of Chocho and Aki, because while they're good players, it's still not top esports. That's still not top 2 in the league. Yeah. And so they come back. Great timing. We have a few weeks to get ready for playoffs, and I think they're in playoff form.
Now, I want to jump over to LNG quickly because I have a discussion that I think will either upset you or you might agree.
Okay, let's find out.
With this loss, I think LNG, they're veering off the edge. And I don't think LNG are a playoff team. I think they're slowly, there's too many questions. There's too many teams like BLG, V5, Suning are performing up. A series like this, at the end of the day, could make or break them. And I don't think LNG is strong enough.
That you're saying they're not a playoff team?
I'm on the fence. And for once, I think that's okay. Do you agree?
That's a no. Only because I think that, BLG I also recognize are going to be in the playoffs as well. And that's, of course, there's a lot of time going forward.
Because we lost TMO. JDG still a question mark at the moment. So we have essentially 2 vacant spots of 2 new teams.
Because the 2 teams that we're going to be looking at right now to be able to take that spot is going to be JDG and Victory 5. Those are the 2 teams that we're looking at, and if they can get further.
Sorry, WE we lost as well. Not yet, but you know what I mean.
WE took an extra loss. They now have 1 series less, so they're in a pretty tough spot. They are looking better, but that's going to be a tough one to be able to call on them. Yeah. But LNG have 6 wins. The next one has 4. They would have to be on a losing streak, and I think that, if we're just talking about the tough matchup ahead, it's not unfair, right? No. It's not unfair to make that call that you're making, which is like LNG could get bumped out of playoffs.
Yeah.
I think that's very fair. I think the only problem that I have is that the teams outside of the playoffs currently have some very, very real problems. And that's why I look towards JD. And even though they were, our finalists in Spring Split, currently they just have so many issues around their current laning phase setup that LNG is going to be guaranteed, the laning phase that they had no option in this game. That's
very true. It's an interaction of styles. So to that point, respect your response. RNG, FPX are their matchup schedule.
Yep.
Vici and then V5. You're expecting wins.
Yeah.
You know what the greatest part is? Suning is their last matchup.
Yeah.
And then that could be like the 7th or 8th position that's secured by the LNG or Suning if it comes down to it.
You can never know what to predict in the LPL final week, right? That's the thing about it, is that you'll always know that Team WE is fighting for that final spot somehow. And somehow LGD will do it, right? They'll heed the chance of literally every venue in the LPL, and they'll just veer with those wins. Bademan, the new jungler coming in, he's going to be coming in with a lot of wins, and he's already come in with a big amount of strength. I'm not saying a win, but I'm saying that guy's looking good.
Yeah.
Outside, there's a reason why he's one bad man. The guy is a real sick Xin Zhao.
Yeah.
His Xin Zhao is actually insane. The only problem is that every team on the planet looking at that will be like, well, you're prioritizing Xin Zhao's first pick, first rotation consistently. We're banning it out. Good luck.
And then what have you got?
So, but going back to the point, I think 9th place to 12th place are very difficult to really call as teams that making it to the playoff. Victory 5 is the last hope. Yeah,
and big question mark for a good regard. But coming back to this series before we continue that discussion, Top Esports. Who was MVP? Give it to him again. 3-6-9, give it to either of them. Happy with that.
He got 12 this time.
Yeah.
You can't stop him.
Double MVP now.
He should have not. He should have not actually had the 12th kill because he has 11 MVPs. 11 kills, 11 MVPs would be pretty damn good.
This is number 12, right?
Well, I mean, no, it was the 11th MVP.
Okay.
They count that MVP as well.
Okay.
So taking a look at this one was, insta kills you. Yeah, at this one, we're talking about counter ganks. SofM was in position, didn't realize that was the damage they'd be coming through. One thing that I enjoy is, hearing the communications from players, not from just the LPL, but from EU LCS as well, LEC that is.
Yeah, that's right.
Being able to see, Bwipo just gets so pissed off when he's like, I had armor and I just got one shot by the Qiyana under full rotation. Ultimate into the Vladimir and you get burst.
That's a frustrating game from Plex. If you want to talk frustration, for sure, Plex was definitely feeling the pressure, the strain that Top Esports put on it.
And take a look at this, because this was an insta-kill.
Yeah.
And you thought you had an option to be able to slow the game down. Not even close.
I love it. 3-6-9 runs all the way through the base.
SofM gets targeted.
Yep.
Get me out of here!
Plex is out, but SofM, death number 5.
At least we didn't show the replay in which he was on top of ward. That's all I really care about. This is that one great fight where you're like, this is looking good for LNG, and then immediately it's like, oh.
Props to Ben this game. He had some great ultis. Actually, Ben looked fantastic on Yuumi.
Yeah, this is one of those moments where Yuumi players will not get MVPs. Max got an MVP on Yuumi. There was someone else. Chocho actually got an MVP on Yuumi as well. So you can get it. It is hard because most of the time the person you're empowering will probably get the MVP.
Yeah, but props to Ben once again for his return. It's more impressive that he can return after Chocho was playing well, after XX for Aki as well.
Yeah. I bet Cat's going to be happy about that, former support player for Top Esports, because when he was watching Chocho play Yuumi on stream, he was apparently incredibly tilted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was just saying, he noticed the mistakes, apparently.
Okay.
That's what happens when a support player watches the new support, former AD carry, playing into the roster, and he's like, oh my goodness, you need more games.
It's gone back to normal. We didn't see Chelly in support tonight. We didn't see Chocho in support tonight, but we did see Top Esports coming out strong. And further to discussion before, as we look at standings, that bubble that you said 9 to 12, like even 5, 6, 7, 8, up for contention.
I just want to see who gets second seed, because that is super important if we go into playoffs. That's how you get to the semifinals.
Yeah.
And RNG is right there. They have more games to play, because not only does Top Esports have one more loss, but one more win in series. So, RNG still has a lot more games to play to prove that they are the second best team.
I'm getting to the point where I'm looking at our top 3 and I go,
wow,
what team would I send to Worlds here? I go even further. I go, there are so many good quality teams.
Look, I'll tell you one secret.
But
EDG will find a way.
yeah.
You look at the, you see, oh, it's like FPX.
So now we have 2 spots.
RNG, IG, soon, and you're like, yeah, and then EDG's like, yeah, all right,
no,
gauntlet run, baby.
yeah.
Gen G, EDG.
Oh,
I was about to say TSM, but not last time.
Yeah, okay.
It happens.
As we move on, though, because remember, with standings, with how the LPL is developing, we've got to return. This is when we're not live. This will be coming up on the Friday. Vici and BLG, V5 and JDG.
If you want to watch some really fun games, fun is the strategic word for me.
Yeah.
They're going to be messy. Victory 5, JDG, Vici Gaming, BLG. That is a slaughter waiting to happen. High kill count is going to happen from both sides.
Big day from V5 and JDG as well. So through that slaughter, we have reward, but the reward being Saturday with our, I'm calling it now,
oh my God,
double match of the week
match
there.
of the day.
Yeah.
Matches of the day. I'm sorry, the English language is definitely a primary.
I feel like match of the week is better than match of the day, but
Yep.
Yep.
But double match of the, yeah. RNG, LNG, EDG, FPX. FPX already has one black eye to Invictus Gaming, and
Yep.
if EDG want to show themselves to be that gauntlet run team, that's the moment they're going to come in. Scout versus Duan B's it. And if you look towards RNG versus LNG, let's talk about that match of the week. It's huge. With SofM, oh God, I just realized after today that's a more awkward conversation to have. Versus Karsa.
A little bit, yeah. That'll be a good match. Oh, still a good matchup. I mean, LNG against RNG, very different style. Are you okay?
This is the second time. Never trust LNG. The last time, well, they were known as Snake last time. I remember we set up for Snake. They were like, all right, great, match of the week coming through. You know, they have one game where they're setting themselves up for that match. I remember like setting and then suddenly like the game where they were setting up against a far worse team, they got blown away and you're like,
what? Yeah.
well, that's an awkward match of the week at the end of the time, so good luck.
I mean, say that to Clement and Iberia because they predicted LNG in this series. You and I did top esports.
You're right.
Yeah.
We're the right. There's the reason why we're at the top of the prediction standing.
I'm climbing.
And they're just a lowly peasant.
Yeah. I mean, Clement's down there. Like, what's going on? So, big questions coming forward, but that's it for us today, Raz. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for putting up with me as always. Thank you to our production team. It's bye for now, but not forever. We'll be back on Saturday for more English LPL.